Come on, Ray. Chief. You said the MSP what?
Oh,
No.
we went to the restroom.
Oh, you went to the restroom? Yeah, we're waiting on one more person to come up. Is Faith? Where's Faith? Why are you back there, Faith? Mhm. Michelle, can you go see if the MSP officer is, yeah. Chief, you guys can come in a little closer. You see, Ray, you can stand next to the chief if you want. Come on up. Stand right here. Over this side, come over. All right. Good afternoon, and thank you all for coming for this important announcements that we have as it relates to the criminal activity that's going on inside the city of Flint. You know, it's another great day as it relates to God's watchful eye and putting all the coalition of individuals that's here standing with me today to be able to talk about these things that's very serious. And some of these conversations are very uncomfortable, but uncomfortable conversations are not disrespectful conversations, as we need to have a conversation with the public and the supporters of positive engagement. You know, I want to give our condolences, our very sincere condolences to the loss of a life of another young person, an innocent life that was lost here in the city of Flint. Though there are many lives are lost to this useless violence, this act of violence in our community, to the point of there's almost a poverty of values in some circles. But we need to step up, and we're looking for a collective response to this. Law enforcement cannot do it alone. We're here with MSP, Flint PD, and the University of Michigan, as well as the County Sheriff's Department is engaged as well. But we cannot enforce our way out of where we are. It's going to take faith-based leaders, clergy, educators, elected officials. We have to do this. The city of Flint is the only community inside the state of Michigan that's still under a gun violence emergency. We have been doing a wonderful and fantastic job taking guns off the streets and destroying guns. However, that's not enough. We need to do more. We cannot do it alone. Under the watchful eye under God, through our police chief, we are going to be doing some more engaged activities. The city of Flint will be engaging in curfews and the enforcement of curfews with the support of our law enforcement agencies. We were asking people to abide by the law. To abide by the law, to keep organized events, much like we saw in downtown, or just living better for everyone. Whether it be, and our logo doesn't like some of the things that I've been saying, but definitely we have to be able to engage in law-abiding activity. We need to restore faith, inspiration, and hope into the minds of our young people. We've done that in many different ways with proactive programs, job training programs, de-escalation programs, and tutelage programs. But definitely we need more people on board to be able to engage in this. Some of the activities that we're going to be engaging is the institution of that curfew. Fully and engaged curfews throughout the full city of Flint. We want to make sure that life is preserved at all costs. I want to bring up a young person that was there that's a part of our youth council that witnessed some of the stuff that went on last night, to give a perspective of a young person's perspective about living and trying to go through these very difficult times. And then we're going to have other people to speak. I want to introduce you to Faith Jr. Faith.
Hello, my name is Faith Jr., Faith Junior. Yesterday during Flint's 810 Day, a day was meant for celebration, our city's history, culture, and pride. Our community faced a tragic moment. What should have been a time of unity and joy was interrupted by violence. Reminding us of all how much we have worked, but still ahead, We need to ensure that our city is safe for everyone. I was there. I remember hearing gunshots for my first time last night that distributed last night. In that instant, the atmosphere changed, a painful reminder that we cannot take safety for granted. But there's also a reminder that we must rise together and create a challenge. In Ecclesiastes 4:12, it says, "A cord of three strands is not quickly broken." Our strength lies in our unity. It is how we support one another. We need our families, our leader, and especially our youth to rise to the challenge. That's why we have programs like the Mayor's Youth Council are so critical. This program it empowers and admires our young people, giving them the tools and opportunities to lead, to create, and to be active participants in Flint to make it safer and a stronger place for everyone. Our youth are not just leaders for tomorrow, they're leaders of today. Flint deserves more than just a survival. We deserve to celebrate safety and joy without fear. We deserve a future where safety and celebration walk hand in hand, where our best days are still ahead of us. Let us honor those that we've lost by committing to have a better future. Let us build Flint. Let's build Flint where we have strength, unity, and we have hard work with our youth, leading the way towards a lasting peace. Together, we can ensure that the future we create is one of hope, opportunity, and security. Thank you.
And so I want to also bring up a member of City Council, part of the government unit inside the city of Flint, to be able to speak to some of the issues and some of the things that we're going to be engaging in, to be able to proactively engage young people where we see a lot of the criminal element is starting there, and we have to be able to suppress this at all levels. The level of partnership needs to start here in City Hall, in our county, in our state, and also our federal government to be able to push the dominant tendencies of violence down in our community. I want to give to the Vice President of Flint City Council, Candace Mashak, an opportunity.
Thank you, Mayor. Unfortunately, the reason that we are standing before you today is a very somber reason. And I want to let the residents know, I want everyone to be clear who's watching, whether you live in Flint or outside of Flint, that this is not who we are, it just happens to be where we are right now. We've been in this place for quite some time, but we have leadership standing before you that is prepared to address what's happening. Our community deserves more than reactive enforcement. We deserve more than last-minute suggestions. And so that is why the leadership of the Flint City Council, along with working with the mayor and the police chief and other community groups that we will be reaching out to, we are committed to finding out ways to keep our youth engaged and active. But more importantly, we're committed to finding out ways to deal with the trauma, to deal with the economic depression, the things that cause this type of behavior. We're standing here before you not making any excuses, but making plans, knowing that the plans that we make have to involve not only ourselves, but the community members and the parents. It is important that we hear from the parents about the resources that they need, some of the things that they see are lacking in the community so that we can help Flint be the best Flint possible. We are also going to expand some public safety plan focused prevention, as well as the mayor's already talked about some of the other partnerships. But what the city council is responsible for doing is making ordinances that make sense for people, and then also making sure that the budget and the money reflect a way that helps Flint move forward in a better place. And I stand before you today committed on behalf of city council leadership to hold more community meetings, to show up with law enforcement, to make sure that any laws or ordinances that we enact are ordinances that work for the people and that are by the people, and to make sure that any budgetary items that we move forward are things that can help. We tried to do that this summer with our Safe and Clean Summer. We did youth jobs for the summer. Mayor, I think it's something we might want to look at doing a little more throughout the year. But we're looking forward to working with those community groups who are already doing the work so that they can help us understand where some of this funding needs to go so that we can uplift them as they work to help better our youth. Thank you.
Other initiatives, we talk about, the priority areas for the city of Flint and where we're going to be going. I'm going to let the police chief engage some of it. I want to hear from our public spokesperson for the city of Flint, Kay Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. This is such a special day. We definitely, our hearts go out to all the families. And like we said, we have to move beyond what's happening on the local level, we want to reach out to the state of Michigan just to expand our 4 key areas. That includes community-based violence prevention programs for at-risk youth and impacted neighborhoods all over the city of Flint, proven intervention strategies, including conflict mediation and trauma-informed services. We also want to engage in law enforcement training and de-escalation, crisis response, and community engagement. And lastly, independent data evaluation to ensure transparency and accountability. These are the 4 key areas that we are reaching out to the state for partnership. Thank you.
Now I'll bring up our police chief, who has been doing a fantastic job that's engaging these things. But definitely I want people to understand, this is a full on-board alert, a full on-board partnership to be able to get us to where we need to be. You know, 1 week we can have a level of great engagement. Our 4th of July ceremonies or our rodeos or where you have a lot of people galvanizing. But definitely we need to make sure that we protect residents in their recreational spaces as well as their homes. The police chief is tasked with a great responsibility, and he's doing a wonderful job. He's put together law enforcement activity, taking guns off the streets. Under his watch, thousands of guns have been taken off the streets and destroyed. Under his watch, he makes sure that we have law enforcement officers not just engaging in law enforcement activities, but also in educating opportunities for young people. I give to you Chief Terrence Green.
It's always a somber moment when I have to speak on an issue that occurred last night. My condolences go out to the family of the 18-year-old young female that lost her life for senseless gun violence last night. It gets old. But I'm not going to get frustrated. I'm going to work harder at trying to cure this issue. We're going to strengthen our relationships with the community, because the community is going to help us solve these crimes. We can't do it alone. We can't arrest our way out of these issues. We have to build that community trust and have a partnership with the community. Also have a strong partnership with other law enforcement agencies, Michigan State Police, University of Michigan Flint, Department of Public Safety, Genesee County Sheriff's Department, ATF, FBI, and so on. So we're going to continue those efforts in order to keep the public safe, increase public safety, and also decrease the fear of crime. We have a lot of work to do, but we're up for the challenge. And what I do, I welcome the community to help us. If you have any type of heart and concern for an 18-year-old young female that was having a joyous time downtown and her life is cut short by a stray bullet, hopefully you had a heart to step forward and provide us with the information that's going to help us get her some type of justice. Thanks.
As I stated, and the theme is we cannot do this alone. We have to be the example that we want our young people to follow. In our council chambers, in our Congress, in our United States of America, in our engagement with one another. But we have to be able to provide the level of example that we want our children to follow. We have to take these guns off the streets and out of the hands of those individuals that would do harm. This is all hands on deck. Here with me today, we have the faith community as well. We have law enforcement community as well. We have opportunities and engaged plans that we have put in place. For months now, we have said a safe and clean summer initiative. But we cannot do it without you, the residents. As the chief said, once again, this administration, this municipality, my family, we give our sincerest condolences to that family who is dealing with the unspeakable hardship today. And I ask everybody just to place themselves in that mindset for one moment. The most important thing to us as our children, to lose a child, true innocence, should never be accepted, should never be allowed. So I'm asking, all hands on deck. Let's get serious about the work that we need to do. Put aside the differences that we may have and move forward in a productive, prosperous way. If you have any tips, any leads to who's doing these crimes, we need to be able to have you step forward. And with that, I'll open it up for questions.
I assume you're reviewing all and any video footage of downtown at this point?
Yes, that's correct. We have some promising video from surveillance cameras, and all those being reviewed from every angle.
From what I'm hearing, well over 2,000 people downtown. Was that an excessive number of folks being in downtown, given the amount of staff that you had? I know we have this question, it seems like weekly, but did you have enough staff on hand to accommodate what was going on?
Yeah, we have enough staff, but the issue was different incidents occurring throughout the city. Majority of them occurred near downtown, so we had staffing in place, but they were preoccupied with other things at the time of the shooting also.
Can you confirm that the suspect shot into a crowd of people?
I can't confirm that at this time. That's it's a little bit premature, but that's being investigated as a possibility.
And it was outside of the Capitol Theater?
That's correct.
And can you say anything more about the victim?
18-year-old female was downtown with friends, family, just enjoying herself. Right now, I'm not sure if proper notification has been made, so I don't want to mention her name at this time, but I plan on having additional information after this press conference.
And the curfew, when does that start?
Well, we're going to have the curfew in place for Back to the Bricks, definitely. We do that every year. That's at 6 p.m. And if you're a juvenile, 17 and below, you must have an adult or a guardian with you to be downtown in this area during Back to the Bricks.
And then all these other programs that you guys mentioned, when can people expect to see the implementation of them?
They've already been implemented. You know, we initiated the Safe and Clean Summer Initiative last year. The peer mediation, the peer training, engaged with our partners in the Flint Public Schools and charter schools as well. That's already been implemented. We have one school year behind us. Then we transitioned to summer jobs for young people. Now we're getting ready to go back into school in the session. Now we're looking for more partners to be able to engage more schools and more young people as we engage the peer mediation program. And we make it very, very welcoming to where law enforcement, educators, clergy comes in contact with our very, very most precious asset, and that's our young people. Giving them an opportunity to be able to have a great outlet, to be able to have what we call, faith, hope, and inspirational movements in their lives, to be able to get them on the correct trajectory where they won't be using handguns in these small-minded ways to where people are harmed or loss of life occurs. We're going to expend every resource that we have in the city of Flint to be able to curb this culture. Dollars and cents, that won't be a barrier for us here. We will move the resources into position to be able to accommodate everything that we need, proactive, and responsive to this issue that we have here. There's one deficit that you can never overcome, and that's a death deficit. We will not go into that deficit. We will put everything, our resources together. Our partners in law enforcement, when we talk about the coverage from MSP being here with the Secure Partnership Initiative from the state of Michigan or the University of Michigan Flint, both are here today, along with our police department. We have bodies in place, but we definitely cannot be in every place at all times, but definitely if we spread our arms out, ask for people in the faith community, education community, residents to be able to be engaged in this, we can do so much more, so much more. And so we're already implementing it. Implementation is engaged. Curfew will be engaged not only for Back to the Bricks, but we will definitely be enforcing it with all our law enforcement partners throughout the full city of Flint. Even when the school year starts, we will be engaging even in a daytime curfew, making sure kids are in the spaces that they're supposed to be, which is in school and not in public right-of-ways. So we're going to be engaging these things, but definitely the like-minded thinkers has to come on board to be able to understand what this is. And so we need all to pay attention that who is working with us to be able to curb this negative culture. Yes. All right.
You mentioned the partners that are involved in this. Should residents see increased patrols and/or more uniform officers in the city of Flint, not just downtown, but throughout the city of Flint?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've our partnership. We've had a long-lasting partnership with the Michigan State Police, with the secure city policing. That's been for years. So you see them quite often. Also, along with the Genesee County Sheriff's Department, they're out patrolling not just in the downtown area, but outside the downtown area. Primarily, who's assisting us most in the downtown area would be the University of Michigan Flint, because it's their backyard also. So, yes.
I have a question. Yesterday, who and how many officers were actually assigned to downtown?
It was a number from a local PD department that was assigned there, but also we had patrols from the University of Michigan Flint, the Sheriff's Department as well down there. So it was enough officers, but the real thing is that those individuals that will pull a gun out, if you have thousands or hundreds of people, you cannot police that level to whereby you can make sure that everyone doesn't have a firearm. We definitely have to be able to engage these spaces, but we had adequate officers for these downtown events. But definitely when you get individuals with firearms that's reckless and careless, you cannot always police that. But when those individuals left the house, somebody knew that they had a firearm. When they return to wherever they are now, they kind of know who did it. And so we need people to give us tips and to tell us who did it. And if you're listening, turn yourself in. Turn yourself in. It's not only the right thing to do, but definitely we're coming for you if you don't. Those that will harbor these individuals, don't be accessories to the crimes that's been committed upon this public, and especially to the life that was lost senselessly. Turn them in. With that, I'll thank you all. I thank all of my partners for being here. If there's no more questions. Yes.
Should the public be concerned today that the suspect hasn't been in custody yet?
Well, preliminary investigation reveals that this was not a random act. It was a targeted. The individual was targeting someone, and the victim was struck by a stray bullet. So, as far as that incident, the only thing the public should be afraid of, this person is still out there, and they feel willing to continue this retaliatory behavior towards whoever they were shooting at. That's going to continue until someone turns that individual in, the suspect's in.
I do want to do this. We talked about our partners, and there's a partner here that I respect heavily, Pastor Lonnie Brown, and I know didn't put you on the roster, but I do want you to have a few words, because this is a part of the partnerships that need to be had. Pastor Brown, if you can come and just give us a few words.
We certainly offer our condolences for the loss of this young lady. What a tragic situation. The mayor and I have been talking about instances of violence like this, and this unfortunately is not the only one that we've had to deal with and face with. I'm going to be doing a eulogy this coming Friday for a 14-year-old boy who doesn't have a voice right now. And thank you, Mayor, for this opportunity. And we welcome all of the police force and all that they're doing. I just happen to know that you talked about the poverty situation and the absence of moral values. And there was a time in this city, and I've been here for a number of years. I went to elementary school here, Mott Community College, Flint, University of Michigan. There was a time in this community where this was unheard of. It's just simply unheard of. The community policed itself. We had activities in schools, community continuing education and community activity, softball, basketball, baseball. I believe that was a very positive thing to have happen, but we can't sit back because those things don't exist now and say our hands are tied and we can't do anything. I believe that this situation calls for a whole new level of focus. And I really thank the mayor for pulling us all together. We have regular meetings, see what the level of the clergy and our involvement could be to help curb some of this stuff. And he and I talked about this, and I just sort of hesitant to say anything today. I certainly don't want to see young people, 14 years old, 15 years old, incarcerated in prisons and penal institutions. We don't want to see that. We don't want to create victims, but we don't want to become victims because life, liberty, and happiness has not been internalized in the homes where these individuals come from. We can't allow this kind of attitude, if you will, to prevail. The city can't be held hostage because darkness seems to be controlling. I think that we need to send a very strong message to the people that are involved in crimes like this, that your age is important to us, but how we handle the situation will consider your age, but not hold back what is necessary to deter these crimes from people that should not be committing them at the age they are. We have to be tougher, I believe, in how we handle this situation, and having the people that are perpetrators of these crimes understand that there's going to be a price to pay. And while we love you and we want to do the best for you, we can't turn our backs on crimes egregious like this and as heinous as this kind of situation is. If there is a crime, there has to be a punishment that is equal to that, so that you understand that you need to make a different choice to deal with whatever your violent tendencies are, your misgivings, or your whatever your disappointment or disengagement or whatever it is. You can't take this. You can't exercise these measures to do the things that you're doing. The general public has to feel a sense of safety, and we have to do what we can to make sure that it's there.
And I definitely want to reassure families that knowing that we're doing everything in our power to make sure that we can keep our area safe, but downtown events, as people coagulate, we have a few different events still scheduled in the downtown area. We're definitely securing it with all of our partners to make sure that families can come and enjoy the downtown area inside the city of Flint, as well as every other sector inside the city of Flint. We're moving at rapid speed to be able to do more each and every day, but definitely we need everybody's help to be productive and also effective. So with that, we conclude this today's press conference, and we'll break off if you need one-on-ones